Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening on a Thursday. Hey, Heidi, how you doing?
Hey, I'm super. How are you?
I'm good. I'm working on a really fun interview for later in the program. Christmas Abbott is who we're going to be talking to. I have never, ever talked to a person with the first name Christmas before. Have you?
No.
So that's kind of new for me. And she's got a book called The Badass Body Diet. I'm not sure if we can say that, so I'm going to bleep it every time I say it. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know how that works.
All right.
I just feel like I'm saying something wrong when I say it. But Christmas Abbott will be our guest. And yeah, Christmas is coming early this year. It's like Christmas in July, Christmas in May, I guess, this time. What are you laughing about?
Nothing at all.
If you've ever had the nagging suspicion that all of the 4- and 5-star reviews on Amazon are just too good to be true, you could actually be onto something. The Seattle-based retailer is doing something about it finally. Last week, Amazon filed lawsuits in Seattle's King County Superior Court, accusing several people of posting phony, favorable reviews in exchange for payment. $19 to $22 a piece.
You know what? That's not a bad gig. I wish I would have known about that.
No.
I'd sit around all day and
I
write reviews.
What a great product. You mean this thing that's broken? The suit accuses the site, the different sites out there, of trademark infringements, false advertising, and other violations. So you're telling me that people lie on the internet?
No.
Are you kidding me?
It's not even possible.
Trying to make themselves look better and they lie? No way. I thought that only happened on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and any other social media. So, yeah, shocker. Thanks for tuning in. It's a Thursday. You're listening to The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVWheelator.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
News from Florida here. 69-year-old John Arthur Benedict was arrested when police say that he was tailing and then later pulled over a pair of undercover detectives.
That's not smart.
Yeah, he was impersonating an officer. The actual real officers were driving a white, unmarked SUV that Benedict said was speeding. I saw you guys speeding. Police say the fake cop drove a Crown Victoria with a strobe light and a police interceptor emblem on the side of it, which is illegal. You don't want to do that. So I don't quite understand what his long-term plan was to pretend to be an officer.
I have no idea.
I'm a big fan of police officers as well, but I would never, go out and buy a car and put a sticker on it pretending to be one. That's just a bad idea.
Well, it's a really bad idea to accidentally pull over a police officer.
Oh, yeah. So, again, I'm not sure what was he thinking. He was going to give people fines and they'd be paying him? Or
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's more scary than funny, I would say.
No, it's funny. That's God's sense of humor there.
Oh, yeah, that is.
He's
definitely.
like, yeah, you want to pull people over?
Pull them over?
Here you go.
Hey, if you're planning on committing a crime, be sure your cell phone is not dialed into the police department while you're, speaking your plans. No doubt you're familiar with the button that many cell phones have now. It automatically dials 911 when pushed. Have you seen those?
No.
It's just a one-button thing to push 911 because, 3 buttons is way too much.
I have not seen those.
One man's cell phone had that option, and that's what got him and a couple of his buddies into some trouble, Heidi.
Okay.
LaShawn Davis and Tony Palmer were sitting around their apartment discussing the details of their plans to rob a nearby taco. Oh, it gets better. To plan their robbery for a nearby Taco Bell. Because if I was going to rob a place, that'd be my first choice.
Well, hey.
Sometime during the conversation, he bumped the 911 button, and the cops heard about 20 minutes of their planning. They decided to head to a nearby music store where officers tracked them down and found them carrying some marijuana and the cell phone that was also still connected to 911. They have been arrested. No word on whether or not they ever made it to Taco Bell. I doubt it, though.
So funny.
Yeah. Why would you rob a Taco Bell? Because I'm just going to say.
Why would you rob anything?
I understand that. But I'm going to tell you this, folks. If you I don't know.
If you're going to rob something, rob a bank.
No, don't rob anything. But I'm saying,
if you're going to risk getting arrested, at least go for a big payday.
I don't want to encourage people to rob anything.
I'm saying if you're dumb enough to do it,
why
would you risk going to prison for something that may have $20 in the till?
Let's all discourage all types of robberies. But
I'm not encouraging robbery.
It sounds like you are. But I'm saying, of all the places to rob, why a fast food place? Have you been there lately? Everybody pays with a debit card.
Yeah.
What are they going to give you?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen somebody pay with cash in like a year and a half. And nobody writes checks anymore. It's all just
I see people paying.
I never see that. Never, ever.
We don't. Just because we don't doesn't mean that nobody else does.
I don't see anybody do that. Huh. Maybe it's just the places I go. I have no clue.
I do think it's funny that there's a thing now where you only have to push one button to call 911.
How lazy are we getting?
I know. Do you remember the TV show News Radio?
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
They had put in a new phone system, and the guy that was programming the phone system said, "Okay, I've got 911 programmed in here for you, so that if you have an emergency, it's really quick to call 911. Now all you have to do is press *64 or something like that." It was still 3 numbers.
He's like, that's way better than 911.
Now, on top of not being able to call 911, they have to remember what they have to call.
There were some phone systems where you have to press 9 to get an outside line.
Yeah.
And I never understood that because you have to push 9
and then 9 again,
and then 911.
Yeah.
But I always thought, what a weird thing for them to have for an outside line. Why 9?
I don't know.
Like, wouldn't it make more sense to have anything but that? Because if you're in an emergency and you hit 9, you get an outside line, you get 11. So you're just calling 11. Maybe that's not how it works. Thanks for listening on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
2 thieves in Hong Kong were left seeing red when they attempted to make a getaway after they robbed a jewelry store. The 2 had just stolen $65,000 worth of jewels. Then guess what they did?
What did they do?
They hailed a taxi in an attempt to escape. But quickly, a huge car chased between the police and the taxi. I'm sorry, let me say that the right way. A huge car chase between the police and the taxi ensued. What did I say the first time? It sounded like I was talking about a huge car.
Yeah.
10 minutes into the chase, officers switched 10 sets of traffic lights on red to slow down their escape. The crooks jumped out of the taxi at one of the red lights. They tried to get away on foot. They were quickly caught and arrested. So they got a switch they can flip and make the lights go red. I want one of those, but I'd want it to go green. If I could flip a switch and make my light go green, I would love that. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing.
Think you can get one of those?
Probably not.
Can I get that for Father's Day?
No.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
You ever wonder what would happen if you stole money from your neighbor's mailbox? I've never really wondered that. I would never want to do that. But a Los Angeles woman recently stole an envelope from her neighbor's mailbox. Horatio Lazum, and the envelope contained a check to the neighbor's credit card company in the amount of $20. The thieving woman then altered Mrs. Lazum's check to show that it was written out in the amount of $675 and made it payable to herself. It's a typical check washing scheme, but the woman made one mistake. She took her check to the wrong bank to cash it, and to the wrong teller. Who do you think the teller was?
The lady who wrote the check.
It was her husband.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So she showed up, and he's like, yeah, this is from us.
Yeah.
She got to go to jail.
Good for her.
She got a free ride out of the deal.
That's awesome. I think that's fantastic.
Again,
God's sense of humor.
I think that's awesome. All the banks of all the places.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
That would have been the one. So there you go.
Goodness.
What was the thing where I was just talking about what are the odds? There was something. Oh, I have to think about it now. We have your scoop of the day on the way. Thanks for listening on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for the Scoop of the Day, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. Check them out at dollarshaveclub.com/radio and get some razors and have a nice smooth shave like I have. Got to tell you this. The other day I shaved, had this nice smooth shave. I couldn't keep the chicks off of me. This beautiful woman sitting next to me, she wanted to smooch me all day long. She is my wife, so I guess she can do that. I don't know if that's going to work for you. If you shave, she may come smooch you too, but I'm not positive. All right, your Scoop of the Day. A Washington State man reportedly robbed a Subway restaurant recently, and he stuffed the stolen cash into a sack with a giant $sign on it. So he took a bag, premeditated. Before the robbery, put a giant $sign on the side of it, and he carried that into a Subway to rob the place.
Wow.
And I don't know if he was using like a giant, what he was using to rob it, if he had a gun or if it was a giant cartoony cannonball bomb. I'm not sure. About 5,500 more people could survive a major tsunami hitting the Pacific Northwest if they would just walk a little faster to higher ground after the roads are knocked out, according to a new study. Okay, in other news, people who drove fast got to their destination quicker, too. People who ate less lost more weight. They're saying if you walk faster, you're going to get there quicker. No kidding?
Duh.
We had a study for this?
See, this is what I'm saying. The studies are ridiculous.
Hey, here's another thing scientists are working on real hard. Scientists have developed an off switch for your brain to effectively shut down neural activity using light pulses. So they can turn off your brain.
How safe can that possibly be?
Who did they test this on? I'm just wondering. I got about 7 people I'm thinking they might have tested it on.
I've got one.
Some blinking lights, and all of a sudden their brain turns off. All right. We'll just be nice and not mention any names. Whoever it is that you don't like, insert them right there. There you go. That's who it was. That's exactly who we were thinking about. Wait a minute. Who was thinking of me? That's not fair. A new trend for funerals, this is weird, is to pose the deceased in a lifelike way at the viewing. Like sitting up watching sports or holding a magazine like they're reading it. And they have these, it's kind of a new trend. I've seen photos.
That is creepy.
It is really weird. I don't think
I would not.
I would want that to be my final memory.
Well, and I wouldn't even want to go to a funeral where that was happening. I think that's really creepy.
It is a little weird. A Virginia Commonwealth University study found people with bigger brains are smarter than people with smaller brains. Wait a minute. You guys should have been working with these other people. There's 2 stories they could have worked with. The people who had the nonsensical study and the people with the off switch. It's all about brains there. According to the USA Today, airline pilots are choosing their words more carefully. When speaking to passengers, pilots say, we are experiencing bumpy air instead of the word turbulence, rain showers instead of the word thunderstorms, and gate instead of the words terminal, because people associate those other words with bad things. Flights are no longer late, now they're delayed. So they came up with all these new words, lingo. It's still the same thing.
It all means the exact same thing.
But they won't
now
use
those
the
other
word.
words are going to have bad connotations too. Thanks a lot, airports.
Yeah, way to go.
They're going to ruin more words for us.
All these words are ruined. Now, delayed is bad, too. Just as bad as late. And terminal. I guess I never really thought of that as being associated with death.
Yeah.
But I guess it is. So there you go. A couple more quick here. Joel Blanton might be a free man today. Had he planned his escape maybe a little better, he ingeniously installed a trapdoor in his trailer in the event that the authorities ever paid him a visit. However, when the law came a-knocking, he got stuck under the house. Trapdoor worked fine. It just didn't take him out to freedom.
He didn't test it?
He was in there a second ago. There's a rug nailed to a door over here. Let's see where that goes.
Man.
Yeah, he got the first part, but Wile E. Coyote didn't tell him the second part, apparently. And our strange law today is this. In Ohio, it is illegal to get a fish drunk. They had a big problem with that at one point.
How
everybody
would
was getting fish drunk.
Get a fish drunk? Would you put a fish in vodka?
I don't know if you put a fish into something to submerge it to get it drunk, or if you were feeding him with an eyedropper. I don't know. All right, this has been your Scoop of the Day.
Is it illegal where we live? I'd kind of like to try it.
I don't know. Let's give it a shot. This has been your Scoop of the Day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thank you so much for listening on a Thursday. I've got a guest on the telephone line today, and my guest is an author. We're going to talk about her book here in a bit, but first, let's tell you who we have here. We have Christmas Abbott. Now, Christmas was NASCAR's first female pit crew member. She's also a CrossFit enthusiast, and she even owns her own CrossFit. She's a model and a fitness celebrity, and also a former Iraq contractor. She can change two 70-pound tires in 90 seconds. Now, I don't know if I can do that or not. I've never tried, but I doubt I can do that. She can also hold twice her weight. I'm pretty sure I cannot do that. No doubt Christmas has a bad body, and her book is called The Bad Body Diet. Good morning, Christmas. How are you this morning?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fantastic as well. And I got a copy of your book here. First of all, I got to ask you, the photo on the cover, is that you?
That is me and not Photoshop.
We've got a copy of the book that we're giving away at winthisonline.com. So you'll just have to go, folks. Go check out the cover. I'm thinking it's probably going to help you sell some books.
Oh, thank you.
So now, is this your first book that you've written, Christmas?
This is my first book. I'm so excited about it. It's kind of crazy how through my career, CrossFit competitions, NASCAR, and weightlifting, I started getting a lot of traction, and I ended up getting a ton of emails about people asking about nutrition. So instead of emailing every person, I designed a seminar, and there's an online version on my website. And from the seminar, I actually ended up writing this book because I was like, man, there has to be a better way than just seminars to get this information out there. So that's how this book was birthed.
Again, we're visiting with the author of The Bad Diet. Christmas Abbott is our guest this morning. Now, Christmas, when it comes to diets and workouts, there's probably no such thing really as an easy plan to follow, but would you say this is pretty easy, or is it kind of hard to do?
I'm not very good on, I don't learn very quickly. So in the sense of I need multiple stimulants to learn something. So I need to hear it, see it, and do it in order to be able to retain it. So I wanted to be able to read this book if I were me and be able to take away the information day one and be able to apply it day one. So I made sure that it was super user-friendly, but really educational and informative. But, I just really, really made it simple to be able to apply, which is really key, because you can have the perfect diet, but if you don't understand it, then what's the point?
Exactly.
Or if quality of life. I'm such a foodie. I love to eat, and I love delicious foods. So I didn't want to restrict. I didn't want to feel like I was missing something in my life with food, because then you just don't stick to the program. So I wanted to be able to balance real life, busy schedules with good quality food.
And with your program, Christmas, there's two different parts. There's the diet, and then there's also the workout. We'll get to the workout in a second. But first, let's talk about the diet. What kind of stuff do you get to eat?
You get to eat everything. You just have to make educated decisions. So I have different body categories, and depending on your goal and your current body size, like if you want to reduce fat or just kind of tone or gain mass, you'll identify that body type. And then from there, you choose booty foods to be able to enhance this diet even further. So it's really user-friendly. It's for everybody. It's not a one-size-fits-all. And that was my frustration when I started to really experience this, 10 years ago, was that there was these diets, and some of them were okay, but it was a one-size-fits-all. And depending on where you are in your life journey, you can pick your body category, and then once you progress, you can switch body categories. So this grows with you. So
as you're seeing changes, you, of course, would change as well. That makes a ton of sense. Now, let's talk about the workout. What kind of workout is there? I love this workout. So I wanted to keep it simple again. Keep it simple, keep it easy, keep it clean. And I wanted it to be something that you can do anywhere, because a lot of people talk about how they travel all the time or they just don't have time. So all the workouts are less than 12 minutes. There's pictures to be able to, show you how to do the movement. And then it builds, so it's over 3 months of workouts. The first month is, getting to know your basics.
And then the next month builds from there. So it makes it a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more intense. And the third month is like the crown jewel. Like, this is hard. But you can repeat month one if you want. You can go through the 3 and then repeat that again. I just wanted something that people were going to be able to do anywhere at any time.
Again, our guest this morning is Christmas Abbott, the author of Bad Body Diet. We're going to be giving away a copy of this book at winthisonline.com. But Christmas, for those who don't win, where can they buy the book?
Well, I'm so excited for your winner. But you can go to christmasabbott.com for the book and more information about where I'm traveling to. And then you can also get the book on Barnes & Noble, HarperCollins, or even Amazon.
Thank you so much, Christmas. And I got to tell you, I've never met somebody with the name Christmas before. That is a really cool name.
Oh, well, thank you. I love it. I can't take credit for it.
That's really cool. I've never talked to another Christmas. But have you met anybody else named Christmas?
I have never met another person with the first name Christmas. I knew somebody in high school with the last name Christmas.
Was it a guy or was it a lady?
There was a guy and a girl.
Because I say, if you would have married him, you would have been Christmas.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us here this morning. Again, the name of the book, it's almost, I feel like I'm getting in trouble saying it here. It's the Bad Body Diet, the breakthrough diet and workout by fitness celebrity Christmas Abbott. Christmas, thank you again.
Thank you. You too.
And if you would like to win your very own copy of the book, you can go onto the website, winthisonline.com, and you can register to win a copy of the book. We'll be giving that away in about a week, so you've got a little bit of time to do it. So go check it out. Again, at winthisonline.com, and we'll have some links on there where you can buy the book as well. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
Hi, it's Jewel.
And Kelly Pickler.
Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women.
So we've joined the American Lung Association's Lung Force.
Because it's going to take a force of women to create new hope.
Please join us.
Fight lung cancer in women at lungforce.org.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Today is a very special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
Today's Thursday, May 14th. There are only 226 shopping days until Christmas. This is Kiwanis Prayer Week. So it's the week that the Kiwanians pray.
All right.
I'm not exactly sure what that means.
I have no idea what that means.
Your dad is a member of Kiwanis, isn't he?
We should call him.
We should ask him what a Kiwanian...
He wouldn't have any idea anyway. I don't think he even pays attention when he goes to those things.
It's a service club that does a lot of good things for kids. I know that, and for their community. But I'm just wondering if there's because it's Kiwanis Prayer Week. Is it a religious thing then?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Hey, today is National Dance Like a Chicken Day. Oh, dance, not talk like a chicken. It's also Underground America Day. So
what does that mean?
Celebrating in their basements. I have no idea. Underground America Day. Today's Buddha Day and the Stars and Stripes Forever Day. So there you go. And Heidi has a story that she wants to share.
I do.
You don't get to do stories very often,
but
do you?
this one cracked me up.
Well, here's the thing. If you shine on this, you may get more stories. Okay, knock me out, baby.
In Jacksonville, Florida, a man named Jeff Gaylord, age 37, entered the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office earlier today and turned himself in for killing his imaginary friend, Mr. Happy. Gaylord told officers he stabbed Mr. Happy repeatedly with a kitchen knife, cut the body up with a hatchet, and buried the victim in his backyard.
That sounds messy, but if he's imaginary, it probably wasn't all that messy.
He asked the officers to arrest him and give him the death penalty for his crime, preferably right now.
Wow.
Gaylord said he killed his imaginary friend of 7 years for multiple reasons. One, for being messy. He said his room was a mess all the time with his toys and dolls.
Toys and dolls?
Gaylord told police. He left empty vodka bottles all over the kitchen, never picked up his empty cocaine baggies.
Oh, no.
And left the toilet seat down when he peed.
Worst imaginary friend ever.
He messed up my appointment to the point where I just couldn't get it clean. Before Hap started doing drugs and acting weird, he was my BFF. We'd go dancing, play the children's park equipment, both huge fans of doom metal, listen to it for hours with the lights turned off.
That does not surprise me at all.
Gaylord said he and Mr. Happy had grown very unhappy in their relationship and hadn't had a real conversation in at least a year.
I don't think they've ever had a real conversation.
The breaking point came when Mr. Happy allegedly crashed Mr. Gaylord's Nissan Altima after friends had been out celebrating Mr. Happy's birthday at Hooters, which resulted in Mr. Gaylord being arrested instead of Mr. Happy. The drunk driving incident I got unfairly blamed for.
You're trying to kill me over there, aren't you?
And just how messy he had become put me over the edge, and I murdered him.
His imaginary friend, for those of you tuned in late.
He said it was an overreaction. I should have listened to the neighbor lady and got us into counseling, but no, I had to do the unthinkable and killed my best friend. I'm a terrible person and I need to be punished.
His imaginary best friend. I like his name is Mr. Happy, but his nickname for him is Hap. That's funny.
And
That's cool.
Police took him into custody and obtained a search warrant for his property to see if they could find somebody's body. They didn't know for sure if this guy was imaginary or not. They found no body, but they did find drug paraphernalia and a machine gun.
Well, there you go.
So he was booked on multiple charges. He probably won't be getting out anytime real soon.
Well, it's really sad that things didn't work out between him and his imaginary friend. That is nuts.
Oh, then you just feel so bad for him. The look on his face and his mugshot is
Well,
just,
you can see that if you want. Check it out. It's on Facebook. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
A 1-month-old baby has been checked and cleared by an L.A. hospital after being put through an X-ray machine at the airport.
What?
Yeah.
Did she have it in her luggage or something?
Authorities at Los Angeles International Airport say an inexperienced traveler mistakenly put her grandson through a carry-on luggage screener. A startled security worker noticed the shape of a child and immediately pulled out the baby. So she had no clue. When she was walking through, she's like, well, I'm going to put the kid on this conveyor belt wherever that thing goes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so apparently you don't do that.
No, you don't do that.
You let them walk through with you.
Oh, my goodness.
You don't do that. Who would think that was the right idea? Where do I put this kid? How about into this little machine that drives him into the darkness there? Yeah, it's not a good plan. Hey, speaking of airports, some airport workers called police to report an FBI agent. Only problem was, he wasn't really an FBI agent.
Okay.
It was a fake FBI agent, and he was nosing around Sky Haven Airport in Rochester, New Hampshire, asking questions about security and whatnot.
Ooh.
According to police, a man wearing a jacket that said FBI anti-terrorism showed up on the airport scene. Airport workers were immediately suspicious, though, when the man could not produce proper ID, and they thought it was unusual that he was wearing flip-flops.
Yeah, you might want to put a little more effort into your costume. Oh, that's so funny.
Magnum
FBI.
PI on vacation? I'm not exactly sure. There you go.
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah, he was wearing flip-flops. Doesn't say if he's wearing black socks with them or not, but I'm assuming that would be the proper FBI garb, I think. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
The sweet tooth trumps all. Even in an economic downturn, Americans are shopping for candy even as they pinch pennies in other places.
I can see that. I'm one of those.
Be like, I can't afford to buy all of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm absolutely one of those. I know
But
that's stupid, but
I'll take a Kit Kat.
yeah.
Can't
afford milk.
Yeah, well, we always have milk.
Bags of Snickers are on sale.
But it's like, wow, look how expensive all this produce is. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, look at that. Candy bars are on sale again.
Yeah.
Candyland, that's a big player. They're seeing a bump in all kinds of sales with Cadbury, Nestle, and Hershey reporting a rise in profits right now.
I love Hershey Kisses.
So there you go. You know, sometime I would like to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Me too.
We've never been there.
Me too. I would love that.
If you've been there before, you have to let us know. Is it worth going? In my mind, here, let me explain what my vision of Hershey, Pennsylvania is. In my mind, the streets are paved with chocolate.
Oh.
And everywhere you walk, they have free candy as far as the eye can see.
I sincerely doubt that that's an accurate picture.
And there's little angels singing. And, of course, since they have so much chocolate, they're fat little angels singing. Cherubs, if you will.
With bad teeth.
Probably. Is that what it's like? If not, I may just not go there. I'm pretty sure I'll be disappointed now. No, I would, in all honesty, I understand that none of that stuff's probably going to be going on, but I would like to go check it out. I think it'd be cool. Coming up in a moment, we're going to talk about falling off a skyscraper, not once, but twice. Yeah, that's on the way. Thanks for listening on a Thursday.
This is John Stossel. Anything that makes it harder for you to speak limits your life. So if you or someone you know stutters, you can call the Stuttering Foundation for help. 800-992-9392.
You're listening to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
If you were to just randomly walk up to somebody and say, if you were going to fall, where would the worst place to fall be from? Most people would say, I'd hate to fall off a building, right? So I wouldn't mind falling I fell off our steps. That was not fun. We had no railing yet. We were building our house. And I fell off that, and it did not feel good. I can tell you that. I fell like 8 feet and scared the dickens out of me. But that didn't feel good. I fell out of the second level of a barn onto a mailbox. That's a long story. My brothers were involved. That didn't feel good. But never have I fallen off a building.
No, I can't say that I have either.
What could be worse than falling off a skyscraper in New York? I don't know. How about doing it on purpose? Twice. As if jumping off a building once isn't crazy enough, a New York postal worker has done it twice. It seems that Donald Mathis loves to parachute off of really tall buildings. It's called base jumping.
Yeah.
Of course, jumping off skyscrapers is illegal in New York. Go figure. So the man has now been arrested a couple of times. Why did he do it the second time? He said because nobody noticed him the first time.
Oh, so he just wanted the attention.
Yeah. He's like, I did it once and nobody even did anything. Nobody even said nothing. Tried doing a selfie and nobody cared.
So he wanted to be arrested,
Apparently,
or he just wanted the attention of jumping off
He wanted
the
the attention, so I'm going to say his name again. His name is Moron Idiotness. I'm sorry, I think I said that wrong. Donald Mathis. That's how you pronounce it. Yeah, that's what it was. Thanks for listening on a Thursday. In a bit, we're going to talk about a science experiment that went terribly wrong at an elementary school. It's all on the way.
Okay.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com. They only get paid if they help you sell your RV. If you're buying an RV, you can find great deals at RVRealtor.com. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
I wonder what grade the kid got on this project.
Okay.
We're talking about a science experiment that went terribly wrong at an elementary school. Things went horribly wrong when a solid fuel rocket built by kids for a school science project landed on a house and caused hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage.
No.
The school's annual science project was launched from the school's playing field and sparked a fire after hitting a neighbor's property. So they launched a rocket that they were thinking was going to shoot up in the air and then come back and land in the ground. I don't know where they thought it was going to go, apparently. But it went up and veered a little too far to the port side or to the starboard side, or I don't know what you call it when it's a rocket. Anyway, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. Probably also cost that science teacher his job, I'm guessing. But do you think they got an F on that project?
Well, if it was the whole class, you can't flunk the whole class. Sounds like it was a large group project.
I think you could flunk the whole class. All right. So that happened again. Where did it happen? Oh, it doesn't even say. Hopefully it wasn't anywhere around here. Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk about happy birthday in an interesting way. That is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Almost time to go. Before we leave, I got a story here. Do you have any birthdays that you can think back to that were just like the weirdest day ever? What a weird birthday. Some
Not
weird
really.
thing happened.
My mom always made sure that my birthdays were amazing. So
And I think, once we got married, I do everything I can to make him amazing. I mean, like halfway through the day, I go, oh, hey, it's your birthday, right? Yeah, happy birthday. Is that kind of what you were expecting as far as amazing? Did I set the bar high enough?
My last birthday was pretty amazing.
It was pretty amazing. Yeah. We had a lot of fun. I took her on a helicopter ride.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then you got mad. You were like, well, how much did you pay for that helicopter ride?
Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous.
But, it was your 40th. I was like, I'm going to do something special for you.
Thank you for that, by the way, for telling everybody that I'm 40.
It was your 30th. Well, nothing says happy birthday like a group of police officers showing up in their bulletproof vests. 11-year-old Ronald Hooper was recently eating some birthday cake when 2 armed response cars and a riot van arrived. Seems that the birthday boy was shooting a pellet gun at the neighbor's home, and he was taken into custody and questioned for 2 hours before being released on bail. The pellet gun was a birthday present from mom and dad. They claimed that their son was only firing at a target in the backyard, but he was shooting it at the neighbor's house. The neighbor called the police and said, there's somebody shooting at my house. So the cops came in, 2 vehicles. Now, they had to do what they had to do. It's not like they overreacted, because if they get a report somebody's shooting at my house, of course they're going to show up like that. But it was an 11-year-old kid playing with a pellet gun. Happy birthday, Roland.
Yeah, good Lord. Come on, people.
Well, I think that the neighbor might have overreacted.
That's what I'm saying. That's insane.
If the neighbor kids
It's a pellet gun.
Yeah. If the neighbor kids here were shooting at our house with a pellet gun, what would we do?
Nothing.
Shoot back? No. I'm just kidding. We love our neighbors. We absolutely do. And with that, I'd say it is definitely time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening. And if some firearms incident happens in our neighborhood, I'm going to hope this evidence is not around.
Us.
We really, no, I would never do that. Thank you again. It is a Thursday, and if you stick around, we got a couple of fun things to talk about in our bonus break, and that is only on the John and Heidi Show podcast. Go check it out.
Time now for the bonus break, only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Wow, it's still hard to get used to that awesome intro, isn't it? Wow, I feel like we have to live up to that now. A 21-year-old video game designer has created a video game in which players can see through the eyes of someone with Alzheimer's. That's kind of interesting.
Oh.
According to Relevant Magazine, Alexander Tarvett presented his game as his final project at a digital art show put on at Alberta University in Scotland. Tarvett wants to use his game to raise awareness for the disease. The game puts the player in a foggy room where they can examine the pictures and the personal items around the room and try to make sense of where they are and who they are. In a press release, Tarvett says it gives players an immediate sense of the confusion that the characters feel.
That is a great idea,
It is.
actually. I love that idea.
I was at a fair one time where they get to put on drunk goggles or beer goggles or whatever, where you get to see what a drunk person wears or does.
I have those on at every fair.
Let's see, Heidi has too, at concerts, at fairs, every Friday night. Funny thing is, she doesn't have to strap anything on. It's like, what? Who are you? You know, we make it sound like you're a terrible drunk, but you're really not.
No, I know.
You don't drink that much. But it has certainly changed the way people think of you.
I know.
Have you noticed every gift you ever get?
And the stuff that people share on my Facebook page, it's all about
wine.
Being plastered. And
yeah, she's not really that kind of girl. And one other thing, phased retirement is becoming a new job exit strategy. According to the Huffington Post, studies show that many older workers today plan on staying in the job beyond the traditional retirement age. With increasing life expectancy and worries about outliving their savings, many people are finding that 20-plus year retirement without work is practically not possible.
It's
certainly not
an
affordable.
option anymore.
A Merrill Lynch Age Wave study found that 72% of pre-retirees over the age of 50 say their ideal retirement would include paid employment in some shape or form. So they're saying, I'm not going to necessarily work full-time.
Right.
But I want to work part-time.
But I still need money.
Yeah. So there you go. The key is you're supposed to plan for that retirement. So you're supposed to put something away and then let it grow and all of that stuff.
In theory.
In theory. So put a little. If you squirrel away a little now, you'll have a whole lot more later, right?
In theory.
Squirrel away a little now is what I'm saying. If you can, find a way to make that happen. All right. We still don't really have a great way to say goodbye at the end of this podcast, so I'm going to let you come up with something.
Bye.
That's it. Wow.